You have heard of my father, the Far Walker. But every step he took, I took beside him. My father is a great man, but I will not live in his shadow. The sons of Fairhair seek our destruction. I will end their threat. It is time to forge my own path. Hello, Wanderers. On your screen, you see Vemender, Ivar's son, a Norse warrior who is not only driven by vengeance, but by the desire to step out from the shadow of his father, Ivar Twistfoot, Ivar the Far Walker, Ivar the King Maker, a man who is more famous than nearly any would be in this time period, for he was a man who traveled to Rome, Constantinople, Jerusalem, Baghdad, Delhi, and back, returning with vast riches. And not only that, but he had his own tale of worthy of the sagas in that he lost his lands to the king of Castali, and then with his young protege Ordonu, who was the heir to the kingdom of Asturias, well, they were able to oust House Ingling and take their revenge upon those who harmed their family. And the thing is, for Vemender here, who is the second son of Ivar, although he is a man who holds no ill will towards his father, he grew up in the shadow of the greatest of the Norse. And so he has a desire to make a mark upon the world. And that is exactly what we plan to do in this series. But even more than that, we have revenge to mete out and also a brother to save, for the Inglings are still around and one of them has imprisoned our elder brother. And so as we pop out of things here, you'll see we're engaged in battle here in Nor Landa, which is ruled over by Infanta Skuld, Harold's daughter, the daughter of Harold Fairhair. Now, we have captured their city and have even imprisoned Skuld and her son, Jarl Diri of House Snarfari. However, their forces have managed to catch us just as we captured their city, and we are now engaged in a pitched battle. Now, Vemender himself is a disgraced Varangian. He had to break his oath to the Emperor in order to return to his family when they were in need. And with that, he brought some of his Varangian warriors. And with our capable Norse warriors, we're going to be facing down Mayor Lane of Alava here in this battle. And so let us see how well the forces of Nor Landa can do against our powerful Norse warriors. And it seems as though they are going to break and run with barely a chance to raise a weapon against us. For the Varangians and those who have followed Vemender here are some of the most capable of our warriors here. So as you can see, we have even captured the mayor himself in that battle. We got some spoils of war, taking the armor and weapons from the dead, and even our prowess has improved a little bit as well, or at least our experience in wit has increased as well. We are playing with some new mods in this series, so just keep that in mind. I wonder if we can get a ransom for this mayor here. That's actually a reasonable amount. We do have a man haggler in our camp who can get us a little bit extra money, so that is going to be well reckoned here. But beyond that, we do have Jarl Diri and his mother from the House of Ingling here. And keep in mind, it was the House of Ingling that was responsible for the death of our younger brother, Lucidio Ivar's son here. You'll see that he was executed on the orders of King Ingolfur, Harold's son, the former king of Castali, which is now ruled by Ordonu, who was, like I mentioned, the protege of our father, Ivar the Far Walker. And so even though our brother was slain, was dead in that in that original conflict that we had with House Ingling. Not only that, but our elder brother, after we had found victory, was imprisoned by Skuld. And so Vemender's path of vengeance, or his desire for vengeance against House Ingling, goes beyond just the death of his brother, because he did get revenge for that. He executed the son of King Ingolfur, Balder, and Balder was a prisoner. Keep in mind that, and King Ordonu had commanded that he be given mercy, but Vemender would not have it. He needed an eye for an eye in the ways of the Norse, and so he went into the prison and he killed Balder. And for that, we were exiled from the lands of Castile. That wasn't going to stop us from rescuing our brother, which we have done here. Now, although we could end this war here and have our brother freed, well, we need to get our revenge against the Inglings, and Infanta Skuld here deserves to be punished for daring to imprison our brother. And, you know, I think that if we hadn't came here and broken down the walls and come to free our brother, who knows if we would have lost another. And so we are going to get our revenge here and prevent Skuld from getting any more vengeance, or, you know, from doing anything further to harm our family. And so we are going to execute her here. And as you can see, that is exactly what we have done. And so now we can enforce our demands against Jarl Diri and free our brother Enoch from prison. To the vile Vemender, tales of your misdeeds are told from Ireland to Cathay. You are a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. Well, you had no choice, for you were our prisoner here. Signed, Jarl Diri, Heralder, son of Vizcaya. We don't have anything necessarily against House Snarfari, even though they are closely bound to the Inglings. But with the death of, or the execution of Skuld, I think we can call our work done, or our work here complete, now that our brother is freed. Now, our brother is the bishop of, or the archbishop here of Navarra. And so we are going to return him to those lands safely. And, well, I don't think that this is going to be the end of our revenge against the Inglings, for there are several more that we are going to need to contend with, such as Gudfrider, who is a very capable warrior. You can see, I mean, he's slain some men in battle, but even more so, another brother here, Jorundur Heralder's son, as well, and a third brother, Hogni Heralder's son. Yeah, these are all the sons of Harald Fairhair, and all of them have the potential to come back in to seek revenge against our family. And so it's going to be up to Vemender, even though he has been exiled, to seek out these men and end the threat that they might pose to us. And that may go beyond an eye for an eye, but in Vemender's mind, I think, as a man who is callous, yet calm and vengeful, I think that it feels like it's the only thing that he can do would be to go and seek out these men, for they are powerful men, princes and leaders of warriors, dangerous men. And he needs to seek them out and end them before they can be a threat to his family, for they do hold claims on the kingdom of Castile, which was once known as Castali when it was under the hands of the Norse. And we'll get into all that a little bit further into things here, but we do need to consider here who our character is. So like I said, Vemender is a man who is cold and vengeful, but beyond that, he is in exile. He was exiled from Castile for 10 years and a day for the crime of murdering Balder against the king's wishes. That was in the year 922. So we are not allowed to return to Castile. We are not allowed to set foot in these lands, or it would be a crime. until 932 AD, at which point we might be able to return to the lands of our family, whether we wish to or not. That is up for debate. We are a fairly capable commander here, a flexible leader, a rough terrain expert. We are a follower, although this is more a representation of the fact that our father, Ivar, who traveled, like I said, from Rome, Constantinople, he traveled all the way to Delhi. Well, even though he is the most famed for that journey, all of his children traveled with him that entire way. Veminder was there for every step of that journey, as was our brother Lucidio and our sister Christina and Saga and Eir and Helen. All of our family was with our father for that journey. But it is Ivar who is the most well known, and Ivar still lives, though he is an elderly man now and has stepped away a little bit from the life that he once led as the most famous man. He has a salon here, a poet salon in Segovia, and I think that he spends most of his days there teaching youngsters poetry and art and things of that sort. But yeah, that's a lot different than our character, who is a vengeful Norse warrior, as you can see. Fornicator, gallivanter, murderer, for the fact that we murdered Balder here. We're a little bit delicate. We inherited that from our mother, Juliana the Gentle, who was a Galician woman whom our father fell in love with very long ago and who died along that journey. But we're also a handsome man. We're scarred from our years of war. And more importantly, just like the title of this series, we are a Varangian. And that means that we served as one of the Norse warriors in the courts of the emperors of the Byzantines or of the Romans. However, when our family was ousted from their lands here by House Ingling, we had to break our oath and return to help our family get their vengeance. So, yeah, that's Veminder here. Veminder, the son of Ivar, son of the Far Walker. Now, Ivar does have some children, including two sons, or Veminder has children, including two sons. Ivar, a Veminder son, named after our father, and Lucidio, Veminder's son, named after our brother. However, both of our sons are not particularly, we're not exactly happy with how they've turned out. And beyond that, they're within the court of our own father here. Because keep in mind, we were exiled a few years ago, and our father essentially, demanded that our children stay with him, which is not something that Veminder was really necessarily against, because our children were pretty young at the time, even our sons, too young to take on the mission that we were going on. Because, Veminder here, he is a true Viking. He is a man who, he has these Varangian warriors. He's got these Vigmen and these Varangian veterans. And he sought to go and make a name for himself by being a proper Norse, by raiding, by conquering, and having a bunch of young children there. Not exactly the, ideal for that. We're not a babysitter. And so we've left our sons with our father here. And, maybe we'll come back to collect them one point and just see how they've turned out. But we can't actually go into these lands. Like I said, we're exiled from here. We can't return here for a while. We could maybe, we can't even invite him into the camp because he wouldn't accept. So, but I don't think we see really much reason to at this point, because we've got raiding and conquering and all sorts of things to do, revenge to seek out, and we don't need a bunch of kids getting in our way of that. We do have several other children, as you can see here, a bunch of daughters, and if we take a look here, you'll see that those aren't all of our children, for we've also got a bunch of children out of wedlock here, Demetra Fokas, the children of this woman here, Melissa, Also, these are, I'm pretty sure, yeah, all of these are basically our children here. Pancratios, Margarita, Eudokia, and then even the children here, Thecla and Antonia. Ivar is, well, Ivar, or sorry, Veminder. I'm so used to saying Ivar. Veminder here is a man who gets around, as you can see. So the question is, now that we have freed our brother, returned him to his place in Navarra, where do we go from here? Well, we have men to kill and a name to forge, and the path to that, could take place here in Iberia, though I don't think that it will. Iberia now being ruled over by several Norse kings, such as King Eirikur Hrafnsblood and King Hastin the Honest of House Normandia. Well, although the Norse might rule here, Ivar or Veminder, man, it's been a while. If you haven't seen season 1 of this series, definitely go check it out. There's a lot of episodes to watch, and I've been saying Ivar for quite a while. But Veminder here, he is a Norse warrior and a Satru Norse, so he believes in the Norse gods. And I think that he's going to seek a path. I think that, he's never seen the homeland of the Norse here in Scandinavia. And so I think there's part of him that wants to go there, that wants to go back to the place where his own father was born, because Ivar wasn't born here in Iberia. He came with the Norse conquest. But Veminder has never seen that land. And so I think that we're going to go and seek that out. And it's even more ideal because the Yngling sons of Harold Fairhair, well, they have made their way further north to escape the wrath of Ordonu and of Ivar. And so they've gone up in that direction. So yeah, we can see there's one here in Pomerania. There's one over in Mercia, I think that was. And then there's another one up here in Sweden as well. So we're going to have to go and seek them out. And I think the first stop along our journey is probably going to be to go to England, which is split between the King of England, King Jarl, the Bishop of Fools, who's the son of Alfred the Great, or Alfred the Honest as he is known in this timeline. There's a lot of wars going on with the various Norse lords here in Gwynedd, Mercia, and Jorvik. And so I think that a Norse warrior such as Veminder might be able to find a little bit of a place here in these lands. So I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, the question is, can we make it there with the provisions that we currently have? See how much it's going to cost them over camp. Actually, that's not too bad. So I think this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to travel. You know what? We could probably travel to... do we want to go to Gwynedd? So I do see that Jorvik is currently fighting off the Northumbrian claim on the Jarldom of Lancaster. Where are these guys fighting? Yeah, okay, so... Oh, okay, so the English and the... they're fighting a bunch of wars. They're fighting off a bunch of people here. I think we might go and help House Ivaring because we've had... our family has had good relations with the House Ivaring, the sons of... let me see, Ivar the Boneless. So I think we might head up there and maybe we'll try to assist them if we can. So let's go and move our camp up there. That's going to cost a lot of provisions, but we might be able to customize our route and just sail, go by... well, that's not the way we're going to want to go here. We're going to want to go by sea, take the sea route, and then like proper Norse here. Yeah, there we go. This should be... there's a little bit of danger, but I think that I'm fine with a little bit of danger along our way. It's going to cost a decent amount of provisions, but that should be good. Or do we want to just land in Jorvik itself? Maybe that's where we want to go. So let's go and go to Jorvik, which is going to be right here, right? So let's go there. Let's customize that route once again. We want to go here. We want to go over here and then up. Yeah, okay, there we go. That should be good. Okay, let's apply that. Let's start moving our camp and we will continue our journey. We're going to say goodbye to Iberia, a land that we didn't necessarily grow up in, but a land that nonetheless has provided us with some, you know, has been a place that our family has forged a legacy, but that legacy isn't the legacy of Vemender. I'm gonna grab some extra provisions here if we can on the way before we go. But yeah, we're gonna set out from Iberia. We're going to take a ship like the good Norse warrior we are, and oh, there we go. We got some money as well. We could probably do another upgrade on our camp. Not quite enough. I'd like to get that Pavilion 3 upgrade so we can get another building going here. But yeah, let's head out on this journey. So as we set out here, well, we see a derelict ship. The sea is calm and forgiving today, still as a boulder and a powerful wind at our back to boot. It seems it'll be an easy day for the rowers below, but then I spot the mangled corpse of a ship buried nose first in some jagged rocks just ahead. There doesn't appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate, yet I feel compelled to go and investigate. Well, I think we will investigate, see if we find anything of interest here, but unfortunately, it is all washed away. So yeah, as we set out to travel here, let us take a look at some of the characters in our camp. We won't go through all of them just yet, but we'll take a look at some of the important ones here, such as Steercar One Eye. This is a man, a Varangian. So this is one of the men who deserted his post along with Vemender here when he went to go and help his family. And he is a very capable man, a capable commander, a warrior, though he is getting a little bit old, as you can see, minus 12 prowess from old age. But considering his prowess is still 17, he is a more than capable man. And he is our second in command because of his experience. A winged thief, I am stirred from my relaxing trip across the great blue sea by a sudden shriek. I sprint into the stores below deck and I'm horrified to find a Tarok beside the shredded remains of our supplies, its feathers stretched thin against its foul bloated belly. In my rage, I could have killed the repugnant winged menace right there, but I am stopped by my daughter Margarita, who I guess has been foisted upon us. I don't know how she ended up with us here because her mother is still in the court, so yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll send her back to be with her mother later. But we say, "Hark, stay your hand, you abhorrent fool." Okay, well, you should. We're gonna, yeah, that's not how you talk to your father. Let me just say. Don't you know it's bad luck to kill a bird at sea? Oh gosh. Well, even though we know that this can go badly, I mean, I don't think that Vemender seems like the type to show mercy, considering he's callous and vengeful. So even though this went very badly in another series, I'm gonna kill the blasted bird. Your entourage is convinced the voyage is cursed. Great. Well, we know how this kind of thing goes. Not well, let me tell you. We do have some prisoners here. I wonder if we can get some money from them. Captain Aziz, how much can you pay us? Only 20? That's not as much as I would like, but I think we'll get the money anyways. We'll sell the man into slavery here in the Holy Roman Empire, which is, as you can see, quite big. One of our other warriors here, an interesting man, just gained himself a nickname, Lope the Rotund de la Terce. He's a Catholic Basque man who ended up joining Vemender here. And he's pretty capable, actually, despite his great size. But yeah, quite the nickname, Lope the Rotund. He is almost as wide as he is tall, practically spherical. Very interesting character that we have there. Some other interesting characters that you might find here in our camp is Gurley the Wicked. Yeah, this is our concubine, our lover, the mother of two of our children here. And she is vengeful, though lazy, and just in an interesting way. She's a flamboyant trickster, herbalist, novice physician, fornicator. That was with us, but she's a witch and an albino as well. So, yeah, definitely some rumors about this woman here, who we keep as our woman, because, well, you know, she casts the bones, she knows the fates. And I feel like Ivar, though he's probably not the most superstitious of men, he's, you know, he is a Norseman and he is of this time. He's not cynical or anything. So he probably would be just as superstitious as any warrior would be in this time period. And so that's just something to consider there. Perhaps it was Gurley who told us that this voyage might be cursed, but it seems to be going relatively well so far. Lines about legacy. The latest work of my father, Jarl Ivar, has become all the rage at court of late. The piece deals with memory and what we leave behind, and Ivar has publicly dedicated the poem to me. Wow, so our father, Ivar, who is a poet, and who was known for being a poet, has dedicated a poem to us. When memoriam takes shape, what man does not hope to rest when tired? His works surrounding the happy retired, and hope only for memory's grace that their history finds true place. So far, I've kept my thoughts to myself, but the buzz has grown too dramatic to ignore. I don't know quite how to feel about this. Yeah, I don't think we do know how to feel about this. You know, our father is dedicating this poem to us. Even though we are kind of his wayward son, and maybe he is doing this to, I don't know, to show his feelings about the matter. But yeah, I don't know how Vemender would feel about it. The poem is lauded, but yeah, whether or not Vemender considers it to be, you know, what his thoughts on it are, I think are probably a little bit mixed. But in any case, we continue on. We do have some other Varangian warriors with us as well, such as Eystein the Gelded. He was another man who abandoned his duties alongside us here. A eunuch, a warrior, but very capable. A zealous follower of the Norse gods. Another one here is Valpiofur the Stout, unfortunately suffering from a brutal mauling that he suffered in one of the battles that we fought during the conquest of Kistali. But still, a capable man whom we rely upon as our caravan master. And there are several others in our court as well. Some notable ones. Probably most prominent of them would be Prince Njord, Eirikir's son of Hrafnjarl. Yeah, this is the son of King Eirikir. And this man is in exile as well. He was exiled for helping us when we murdered essentially, Baldur Glodson. Baldur was a prisoner of the Hrafnsbloods. They essentially backstabbed House Ingling, whom they were sworn to, and usurped their kingdom. And they offered Baldur to King Ordonu as a prisoner. And Ordonu offered mercy to Baldur. However, Ivar, with the help of Njord, got into the prison and killed Baldur for, you know, the vengeance that he sought for his family there. So that is an interesting character in our court here. We've got him currently as our heavy infantry captain. I mean, he's a brave and ambitious man, though a second son. So obviously, his I think we're a little bit annoyed with this girl that's been foisted upon us. We'll drop her off somewhere or get her a marriage or something like that. And you know, I don't think we want to be hauling around a bunch of children. Like I said, we're not a babysitter. But yeah, Njord is a capable warrior here. And I think that we call him a friend now because he did help us get that vengeance. And his older brother, Prince Ulfric, who is married to our sister, Ulfric is set to inherit Hraefenjall, and so Njord, who was essentially exiled as well for the crime that he helped us commit, though probably not. He is a prince, so his punishment probably isn't quite as strict as ours. He has decided to come along with us and be a proper Viking, and so it doesn't look like we're gonna make it here in time for one of the wars, but they still got a couple going on, and I think we might offer military assistance here to them because I don't think we want. Oh yeah, okay. So they lost to England, but they're still fighting against the Irish and against the Lord Hogni the Stout of Furlix. Who the heck is that? Oh, House Hastings. Yeah, the sons of this is a son of Jarl Hastings. Interesting. Well, I think we're gonna help House Ivaring fend them off because like I said, we do have close ties with House Ivaring. So that is something that we certainly need to consider. One interesting thing about Vemender's heritage and the heritage of all our brothers and sisters that you might not consider and might not have been obvious even to those who... Oh, Valpiofer died of his wounds, no doubt. Yeah, unfortunate for him. We've lost some of our Varangian warriors. But yeah, like I was saying, one of the interesting things about our family, House Scallendale, or at least this generation of it, we're descended from Duchess Juliana, whose father was her grandfather was the former ruler of Portucale, which is now known as Hagenhaven, after the Norse conquered it. But House of Vimranes, well, look at this. House Vimranes is part of the Wigiana dynasty, which is the same dynasty that that Ordonu is from. So the Wigiana dynasty is actually, if we go into the dynasty tree here, as you can see, it descends from Visigothics or Visigothic rulers. King Erwigio, who was a Visigothic king who ruled in Iberia. So Ordonu descends from there, but our family does as well. So you can see here the split where House de Cantabria splits, and then we've also got down here the line of our mother from Jarl Vimrana here, and then Lucidio, and then to our mother, and then to us. So that's actually not that distant along the family tree that our brothers and sisters are from Ordonu here. So just a like an interesting thing to consider in all that. So yeah, that is I just thought that was a interesting that we descend from kings on two sides. Well, although we don't really descend from kings on this side, even though Ivar's father was from House Ingling here. He was a bastard, so and House Ingling didn't become kings until Harold Fairhair conquered Castali. Like I said, if you haven't watched season 1, I would highly recommend you go and do that because it was one of our best series that we've had thus far. All right, so we are about to land here in Jorvik, and yeah, I think we'll see what the situation is. So there we go. So we're here in Jorvik. Let's take a look here. So they're facing down some enemies. Oh yeah, they've got a numbers advantage here. So I think we probably could assist with that. And then also against the Irish here as well. Yeah, I think we'll assist them with these wars if we can. Let's see. All right, so I think we're gonna offer military assistance for money. Yeah, they will accept. So I think we'll join the Northumbrian claim here. And can we join the other one? Oh, we got to wait to see if he accepts, I think. And then we might be able to join the other one as well. Let's see. No, okay, we can't. But we could just offer to join the other war and potentially get a friend or, an ally here. So we'll join both of the wars. We'll raise up our armies. I think that we just want to assist these people, and we need to consider. I'm pretty sure that one of the Inglings is here, right? Yeah, in Mercia. So under the protection of House Hastingen, and that's partially who we're fighting against here, although more the dynasty of Gwynedd here. But they're in the region, so we're gonna raise up our forces here. And we're going to go and attack this army down here. And probably, we're probably going to be able to crush them. I don't know what kind of forces they're packing in this army here. Master Puedebo the Mad. An Irishman. All right, well, never underestimate the Irish, but I think that we should be able to defeat this force in battle. I mean, we're a capable commander, and we're a strong warrior ourselves. Oh yeah, look at that. They're running. They're running like the cowards they are. Well, let's chase them down. We've got ourselves a faithful visitor here. The campfire crackles, illuminating a figure entering our circle. He moves with vigor despite the lateness of the hour, hand wrapped around a walking stick. Those standing guard are already intercepting, but I wave them away. Do you have a place for a man of God? He smiles at me hopefully, dirty clothes rustling in the stiff breeze. A wandering Gothi. A Gothi perhaps, but not a Gothi of the Asatru faith. That much I can tell. A few of my fellow believers shuffle their feet uncomfortably as they make the same realization. I mean, do we really... Seawolf? Seawolf? The Compassionate of Anglo-Saxony. Yeah, great naming there, CK3. No, we don't need his type here. We have a strategical impasse between Lope the Rotund and Astrider. Astrider, the hard drinker, is well, as you can see, a hard drinking shield maiden who has joined us. She's just here to drink, fight, and get herself into all sorts of trouble. But she is capable, and so we should listen to her. But we are capable, so we could get improved pillaging. Ooh, okay. You know what? I think that we could probably employ both strategies here. All right, let's see if we can catch this army. Okay, the Aurelian Jorvik subjugation war is done, so that's fine. But this war that we might get paid for is continuing here, which is even better. So yeah, let's engage with the forces here. Barthélemy, ooh, a Frenchman, facing off against a Frenchman here, but he didn't survive long. We captured Bruid, the Knight of the Man, or yeah, Bruid the Silent. Interesting. Took him down. Let's see if we can go and take down this army down here. The forces of the Jarldom of Gwynedd. And let's see if we can deal with that army along the way. We can take a look at the details of the battles here. The slaughter at Nor Landa, which was one that was pretty well fought. But this most recent one, yeah, we barely lost anybody here. And we managed to capture one of the enemy there. Our sister was taken prisoner. Countess Ear of Valladolid. What the heck? Why was she taken prisoner? What's going on over here? So she's married to Count Hatim, Jorander's son. What the heck? And they're currently in a war attacking Count Roy the Giant of Olmedo. Oh, okay, interesting. There's a little bit of a war going on here between Roy the Giant and Valladolid, though it seems as though Roy the Giant has won. So there is a little bit of conflict in the realm of Castile here as well. Probably due to the fact that King Ordonu, despite taking over those lands in quite a serious victory. He has started to suffer from some level of infirmity, as has Jarl Ivar. And so, you know, the two rulers here are a little bit weak, which might seem very advantageous to King Hasting and King Eirikur, despite the fact that they signed the Segovian Accords, which was a peace treaty between the three kingdoms. But yeah, there's a little bit of conflict going on down in that region here. Let's see if we can make it to our enemies in time here before they manage to get this siege done. Looks like we might be able to just get here in time to defeat their army. And who are we going up against? Jarl Ragnarr the Stout himself, son of Hasting, who died at 89 years of age, because anybody who's played CK3 knows that Hasting is, yeah, he is a singular man, so to speak. All right, so yeah, very capable. Oh, and who did we? Oh, look at this. We captured Jarl Ragnarr here. Well, that is nice to see. I mean, we could negotiate his release. Oh no, we want to Can we ransom him? How much? Oh, he'll pay us a lot for the ransom. He's not leading the war, right? No, he's not. So he's just an ally in the war. So we could ransom him and get ourselves a decent chunk of money here, and then we could go for the capital of the men who are sieging us down. So yeah, there we go. That was that's pretty nice to see. And we did get a mayor as well. Might as well get all the money we can from these ransoms. We can start building up our camp a bit as well now too. So we'll get that level 3 camp. So there we go. And yeah, I think we're gonna head straight for the enemy's lands here and see if we can get it sieged down. A follower's heart. Boss Vemendur, my leader, I have met the most elegant woman here in Clifford. My follower Stigandir the Unseen stumbles as he addresses me. Stigandir the Unseen. Now, this is an interesting man. As a young Norseman, his life seemed, you know, kind of set out for him that he would become, you know, a warrior or, you know, a craftsman or something along those lines. However, in his teen years, he started to go progressively, he started to lose his sight essentially. And to this point, he is essentially, you know, what we would say legally blind. Perhaps not completely blind, but essentially blind. And he's had to learn to deal with that, and he's kind of become, as you can see, a little bit of a dastardly man, a schemer, a conniving man, vengeful, and capable of doing whatever it takes to keep his place in the world. And so we can use a man like this, as you might imagine, a man who knows his way around, you know, with something to prove, and a very small moral compass to guide him. But apparently he's fallen in love with this Welsh woman here. You can see if she's willing to run away with you, but she's not impressed, and they never are. They're never impressed with that event. I don't think I've ever seen that be successful. You know, they say love finds a way, but I don't know if it does. In any case, we're going to siege down the lands of Lord Hogni here. And we'll see what happens with that. While we're here, we do need to consider that our enemy is not that far off. Gudfrider Haraldar's son. Can we do anything against the man? Murder. His capital's too far away. Really? We're not that far from him, so... We'll have to look into that in a little bit. It's too bad we can't challenge him to a duel to the death, but you know, maybe we'll get our chances here against our enemies. So I'm gonna speed up time while we're doing the siege here. Our son Ivar has come of age. He's a tough soldier, but you know, he's not particularly skilled here. You know, content, calm, humble. Not really the traits of a warrior. Hmm. Well, and we won't know this anyways because we're exiled from that land. We're not allowed to go. We're not allowed to go back. And England is actually pretty powerful under the House of Wessex here. They actually kind of came back. Alfred the Great wasn't one to just be easily stopped there, which is kind of cool to see. I've been reading the Saxon stories by Bernard Cornwell, Cornwell. In any case, following, you know, it talks about that's the one that the Last Kingdom show is based off of, and the books are very good. And Alfred the Great obviously features very prominently in it, so it's kind of cool to be here in England in this time period. That's in the book that I'm currently reading. So let's see how well this siege goes. Maybe we're gonna capture. If we can capture this guy. No, he's over here. Well, we captured his holding in any case. Should we go and get ourselves into another fight? Yeah, why not? Fighting's what the good Norse warriors do, after all. And I'm sure we're capable of beating a couple. Well, I guess they're not Welsh necessarily. Their army's probably somewhat made of Welsh, but they are Norse warriors as well among them here. Oh, nice. Let's take a look at the details of this battle. I think there was some details in that previous one. Yeah, Hjalmar here. Hjalmar the Castilian. So this is a Castilian man, which is kind of the hybrid culture that was formed in Castile after the Norse conquest between the Castilians and the Norse there. And so he was born a Castilian, but he has taken to the Norse ways and has taken up their gods. And as you can see, he's really taken to the Norse ways. This is our man haggler. So yeah, he's a brave, ambitious man, athletic, capable. And as you can see here, a berserker as well. And then in this battle here, what did we have? Yeah, Njord Ravensblood ripped the head off Lord Eystein of House Harlech and has become a berserker as well. What the heck? His daughter, or his, interesting. The granddaughters of King Hasting are apparently herding sheep right now. Interesting. Very curious. In any case, there we go. Oh, did we just start are we sieging something now? Yeah, we're sieging Gloucester. So is that how you pronounce it? For those of you who are British in the audience, is that pronounced Gloucester? Because I've been I've been to England before, and I'm pretty sure like a lot of those syllables get skipped for some reason. But in any case, we're gonna siege this down. We might as well continue the siege here. We did get a martial perk as well, which is nice. I think we'll continue down the. Yeah, we're pretty close to finishing this tree off. So you know what? I think we're gonna get that because Peacemaker is a good one, and Gallant is not that bad. Doesn't necessarily fit our character, but it could just represent the fact that Vemender is just a, very capable warrior and a man who takes great pride in being a warrior. He's not necessarily like a chivalric knight, but oh, there we go. All right, so we were able to assist our ally enough, and we were paid for our efforts, as you can see. So we can disband our army here, and we can let them rest for a little bit. So we've helped the Norse here fend off their enemies. Oh, there's another war going on here as well. Should we assist with this one too? I mean, we probably should. We don't want we don't want them to be conquered by Catholics, right? We are a Norse warrior, and we want to back the Norse. And there's plenty of raiding and plunder to be had here in England, and so that's something to for Veminter to consider here. So I think we are going to offer assistance, and we will join this war. But one thing, before we kind of jump into that war, one thing I want to ask you, wanderers, as we kind of get this season started here, I do have some plans for Veminder. Like I said, I do want to go to Sweden, which is apparently in quite a bit of a rebellion here. But I want to go to Sweden. I want to go to the homeland of Veminder. But if Veminder is to make a mark on himself, he needs to go and, he wants to go and be a Viking. So we're going to do some really good raiding and stuff here, maybe in the Holy Roman Empire. Who knows where else? Maybe we could even sail back down to Iberia and Italy and do a bunch of raiding all around here. Maybe go and raid the Byzantines, or who knows? There's lots of places we can go and make a name for ourselves as a Viking. But if Veminder were to find a place to settle for his own, to conquer, to make his own, where do you think it would be? Would it be somewhere here in England? Would it be somewhere here in Scandinavia, or maybe in the Holy Roman Empire? Would he return to Iberia and carve out a realm in Andalus, or North Africa, or the Byzantines, or maybe over here in the Middle East, but that's starting to get a little far. Or who knows, maybe over here in the lands of Novgorod and stuff. There are a couple options, and I just want to show you a few, because I want to find a place that has a cool building, and there's a few that I was looking at. So if we were to settle in Scandinavia, one place that I'd be really interested in would be Gotland, because you get this cool building, the Visby Ringmer, and I think Gotland is just like a really cool island and has a really cool history and kind of story for history to it. The building's pretty decent. This would be really cool for a tall playthrough, and it is within this Scandinavian region where the Asatru faith is, so there'd be a lot of different cool possibilities there. We could do something in England, and there's a ton of cool buildings here. I mean, you've got the Tower of London, you've got the London Bridge, you got Stonehenge, and the Temple of Canterbury. Lots of cool special buildings here. There's even some special buildings here in the Holy Roman Empire. Maybe we'd conquer the Palace of Aachen. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Aachen? I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, there's lots of cool buildings. I mean, Al-Andalus has some really cool ones, such as the Alhambra Fortress. There's lots of cool buildings that we could go and take. Let me know what you guys think. It might be a little bit in the future that Veminder is going to go conquering, but I do want to get to that, within a relatively short time. I want to do some raiding, but I want to start finding the place that Veminder is going to make his mark, pretty soon. So that's kind of our goal for now. I mean, we do want to get our revenge on these sons of Harold Fairhair, but while we're doing that, we need to think about where we're going to settle. So leave your comments down below. If you guys have watched to the end of this episode and you are not subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, do so now. I really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm and stuff as well. Leave a like on the video. If you want to have your own character in the series, such as some of the characters you see here in our camp, and we're going to get into some of these characters like Gunnar the Mule and Siegfried Snarfari here. And there's several others as well. And we'll get into some of those interesting characters as the episodes go along. But if you want to get a character in, make sure to join as a member on YouTube or on Patreon, and you will have an opportunity to make your mark on this story as well. And like I said, if you haven't watched season 1, now would be the time. Go back. It's 20 episodes long. It is the best series we have on the channel, in my opinion, by a decent margin. So I look forward to reading your comments. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. But until then, Wanderers, thank you for watching.